Hey, and welcome back to the channel. Today I am sitting with you mamas. I'm in my schoolroom and I am doing a much requested video on an update of our writing curriculum. And I'm so excited. I have it sitting right here in front of me. So if you would like to know more, let's get started. Hey you, did you hit that play button for the very first time? Well, welcome to the channel. I'm Tasha. This is Tasha Pivots, where we talk about all things mamahood and homeschool and how I'm pivoting through this journey. And like I said in the introduction, this has been a requested video for sure. And I'm excited to do an update, because we have been doing our writing curriculum since the beginning of the school year. And we are loving the evolution of it all. So I'm particularly only going to be talking mostly about the Susan Wise Brower Writing with Ease, which I have a copy right here. Hopefully it's zooming in on y'all so you can see it. This is the book. We have been utilizing it. You'll see this huge gap in the center if it will focus. Yes. Okay. So I have it in front of me. We are still doing it. We're not done yet. And we have been enjoying it. First, I will say, if you're like, who is this? What is this about? All new to it. The Well-Trained Mind is a curriculum-based, a classical curriculum-based style of learning for children starting from kindergarten all the way, I believe, to high school. And I have grown a fondness towards them, not for all of their subjects, but particularly for the writing. I started out by reading The Well-Trained Mind by Susan Wise Brower, and it's a great book if you're new to homeschooling and you're looking to possibly keep more of like the traditional style of learning, really still with the basis of the fundamentals for public school, but bringing it home for like a one-on-one, then I believe you'll enjoy this. But I particularly only fancy the Writing with Ease. And I'll tell you how I even stumbled upon that too. I was on Instagram, and I'm going to go ahead and put her hashtag here, or her thing here. It's Our Homeschool Journey 1, I believe. You can go ahead and check her out. I love her. I love her content. It is so rich. It's like I don't know how she can fit it all in these little bite-sized pictures on her timeline when I do videos of mine, but I love it. I love always checking out what she's looking into. She is very much leaned more to the classical style of learning, but she has a lot of different additives. So if you're looking for something like that, check her out. But I found Writing with Ease as one of her stacks for her child for second grade. And I was like, well, my child's in second grade. What's this? What's this? I haven't seen this. So I did some research, and I ended up getting level 2 because Zoe was going into level 2. I would first say I would have liked maybe giving myself like a month with level 1 just to kind of like get a feel of things before I went into level 2 with Zoe. But all the while, we still did really well, and we're doing really well. We're still doing it. So this again is the book. You get the complete curriculum in the book. So you get the actual lessons that you're doing with your child, and then you get the worksheets that I have a separate folder. I tear them out. They're proofreaded, so it's super easy to tear them out. This is Zoe's little folder. It's just a regular, the kind you can get, the little paper kind. And we have the completed on one side. See if I can get closer for y'all. And then we have the side that we still need to get started on, okay? The primary part that we've been really focusing on since we started this curriculum is narration and dictation. You can go ahead and do this every single day if that is something you want to add in as a supplemental writing, literature, and language art excerpts into your study for the week. But I typically give it a designated time for 2 days a week. We do a lesson for each one. It gives you one lesson for 4 days. But I typically just do I split it in 2 days. So I'll do lesson 16 I have sitting right here. So lesson 16, I'll do day 1, day 2 on Tuesday, and then day 3 and 4 on Thursday, and we'll wrap up the week that way. So I'm going to show you guys, I'll do a more focused in on one so you guys can see on the table, but I'm also going to just hold it up so that it can be easier as well. So what I like is all the pages are in there. It all comes in this one solid book. You can find this on the Well Trained Mind site as well as you can find it on Amazon. I will link both in the description below that you can check out. But I like it because it gives you passages of classical children's stories. You read that to your child, and when I say passages, I'm saying like less than like 2 to 3 paragraphs. You read to your child, and then you then go into a narration, and then you start to ask them questions. And the questions are not extremely hard. They're very simple, but it really automatically tells you whether your child is comprehending what they're hearing. Not just what they're reading, but what they're hearing. And so I've seen some moms kind of like let their child do this on their own, but I think this is very much for like the kindergarten through 4th grade. I would say it should be more parent teacher child style. And that's what you'll do. So you'll get a passage of the story, you'll ask some questions. So I'm going to open up one that I can give you kind of an idea. And you'll also see, I'm going to split the screen so you guys can see exactly what I'm looking at. I'm going to look at lesson or week 17, lesson 1. Okay. As you can see, there is a next narration exercise. It tells you exactly what you're going to do, what pages you need to tear out. I always tear out at least 2 weeks worth of lessons out and put them in the folder. So when I tell Zoe it's time for writing with ease, we just take it out. And she'll automatically put her name on everything, but it just makes it a lot simpler. There are certain words, if you need to give your child an explanation, they'll give you an excerpt to let you know, like, hey, there's this word that's going to be used. This is in the context in which it's being used for, which I think is really great, because if you're reading to your child, if your child's like my child, sometimes my child will know bigger words and actually be able to use them properly in a sentence. But then there'll be some words that she will just listen, but she won't ask me, what does that mean? And so then you're like, does she even know what's happening? So I like that they kind of give you that precursor of like, hey, this is what this word means. So as you can see, there is this passage of a story. It tells you what the story is from, where the story is. So if you guys ever wanted to read more about it, you could. And then it goes into this area where it says instructor and student. And this is where the dictation and narration come into play, where you start to say something and then they have to now have the ability to tell you it back. Then they also take it a step further, where we now talk about fragments. Are they writing a sentence in fragment, if I can say it, or are they speaking it? And I was like, whoa, like that's where it hit me, how fundamental this curriculum is, because I've only been around in homeschool for 2 years, okay? But in all of my daughter's other curriculums that we've used in the past, this part of like learning how to properly write and properly read something and comprehend something is not listed in there. They'll be like, oh, don't forget your commas. This is what a comma means, or this is what a period means. But like fragments and contractions, like some people literally go through their entire, like me, hi, I'm one of these people that I'm about to express, that will literally go through their entire journey of education and never be taught what these actually mean. They'll just get a note in the computer when they write a sentence and it says fragment, and you're like, what does that mean? And so that automatically just like, that's why this is implemented in my home now with my daughter at 2nd grade, okay? So as you can see, there's these questions like, what problem did the townsfolk have? Now your child doesn't need to give you the response. Like a lot of times children will go say, well, the problem that the townsfolk have, they'll repeat your question. They don't need to do that. They simply just need to say the town was filled with rats. And what I notice is how, like with Zoe, in the beginning of us doing this curriculum, she would just run through it and she would repeat the question to me. But now it's like, I sometimes I'm like, did she see the answers before I read them to her? Because she'll just have it spot on. Like now she knows She knows what she's supposed to be looking for. She knows what she needs to say in response of like, this is the question, this is the answer. So there's the testimony in that, okay? So as you can see, I'm flipping the page. The next part is copy work. So those were those sheet tears that we took out. This is where you are going to do some writing as well. So this isn't just your child doing it. You're going to do it too. So when they have a certain question, here, like there's a passage for day 2 of just saying, rats, they fought the dogs and killed the cats. Oh, how I wish we had a trap. Now there's a lot of different punctuations and things happening there, but our child has to know, okay, what are these interjections? What do these mean? What is this? What exclamation point? Am I supposed to pause? Am I supposed to say something? Am I supposed to quickly respond? Am I supposed to sound like I'm making this a moment or a statement? And so that's, again, the fundamentals of this curriculum is to teach your child to not only be able to retain what they're hearing and then be able to give it back, but then also how to properly structure a sentence and write it. And then also, if they were to read their own writing, they know what they're supposed to stop or start with, which I think is great if you have early readers, or you have a reader that's like mine who is her reading level has always been a grade or 2 higher, but she also, because she knows how to read, doesn't mean that she's necessarily reading right, and remembering to pause when she needs to pause, and how long does she pause, all of those things, okay? So that's what you're gonna see. And this is continuous each week. And for some kids, they might feel like you're being mundane and boring, but keep going. Keep doing it with them, because then you'll start noticing it when they're doing the read aloud times with you, or when they're doing their independent reading and writing time, when you have them doing journals for the week or journals for the day, and how they use what they're learning to then express themselves when they're writing. So really, really great key to that. Video that I shared when I did a first flip through of this curriculum, you can check that out right above me on the iCart, and you can always look through that. That gives you a full flip through of like my introduction. I had never seen it before, and opening it with you, okay? So that is pretty much it. I again will show you guys some of Zoe's work. I guess I could give you just, I'm gonna hold it up. You can see this is a dictation exercise. She puts her name and her date, and then she does the assignment here and says what it is she needs to write the sentence. And I always am watching her, because they they also advocate for that, of like, watch your child as they're writing it. Is there a fragment? Is there a running on? Or like if there's 2 sentences, like always after the passage, it'll ask the student, after you've read this, please have your child tell you in 1 to 2 sentences or 2 to 3 sentences what they read. And like basically taking that whole passage and just giving you 2 sentences. And we have our ebbs and flows. Some days Zoe's on it and says it. Some days she's kind of all over the place. And I'm like, let's reel it back in, okay? So I hope that this answered some of your questions on our language, our writing with ease, and how we're enjoying it. Again, you can make this easily a part of your writing time and your, or you can make this a part of your language arts time and say, this is my language arts curriculum for my child. You can easily do that. I have a little bit more nuances with different curriculums, and I just let this be part of our writing exercise every week. All right, guys, if you have any questions, you know what to do. Leave them in the comments below. Give this video a warm thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And until next time, you have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll talk to you later.